Oh, wow. Hello. Hold on, girl. Why is it so... Why is my screen so... Ah! This is going to piss me off today. Hold on. I'm trying to get something working. Okay. Now... Do what? Hello?
Mommy. Hey, Mom.
Hey, guys.
Mommy, where's my fake knife?
Your fake knife? Oh, let me think. Yeah. What did you do with it?
I don't know.
Is it in the bathroom? By this toothpaste? Am I what? Oh, I'm live streaming on YouTube. What are you doing? Yeah, it's okay though. I had to do that video because I needed people to know why I left Facebook, because it wasn't because I just wanted to go, you know, but now that I'm gone from there, I feel so much more freedom and just like, I just feel good. Yeah. Well, this is what I'm going to do it. Yeah, that's what happened. I'm going to do this live stream on Relapse, and then I'll call you when I get done, because I promised everybody I would come over here. Okay, well, come over, girl. All right, I'll see you on the YouTube. I love you. Bye. Okay, guys, that was Jennifer. So sorry about that. For some reason, this camera wants to like zoom in real close on me, so I'm trying to figure out a setup so I can prop you guys up and you can see me and not be so close. Oh, is that a little bit better? I'm sitting on the ground. Okay, that looks like it's a good, is this okay for you guys? I hope it doesn't bother you. So, I wanted to talk about relapse, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I have been dealing with some stuff with people that are close to me, and I wanted to talk to you guys about relapse and what it is, and signs that you can see before somebody will start a relapse. Hey Jennifer, love you, girl. And maybe think ways that you can get back on the wagon if you have suffered a relapse recently. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So to me, what a relapse is when you've had a significant amount of sober time, 30 days or more, you know, it could even be 2 weeks, I guess, just when you have been abstinent from drugs or alcohol and you pick back up with the intent to use a substance to get high or drunk. I think a lot of people call some relapses lapses because they maybe relapsed but didn't stay in their relapse and got right back up and came out of it. Maybe they used for one day and then they got right back on the wagon, and they call that a lapse. I just go ahead and make it easy and say if I picked up and I used drugs or alcohol and I got high, or I had the intent to use and get high, and I acted on it, then that's a relapse. With any kind of substance, it doesn't have to be a narcotic, you guys. You could relapse on sleeping pills. You can relapse on Tylenol PM. Because what happens, and the reason I know this is because I've done it. When I was in recovery, when I was living in a halfway house, I knew I couldn't get high on Xanax because I would test positive for benzos in my urine. So I took Benadryl, like 10 at a time. So I would feel messed up. Right. So you could relapse on anything that you're trying to change the way you feel. So Jennifer brought up a really good point. She said that relapse starts in the mind. And I absolutely agree. And this is why I agree. So somebody very close to me in my life, I've been noticing that this person has been acting different. They have stopped going to as many meetings. They have started making excuses for little things like not staying in contact with me, or having things like cough syrup when they don't have a cough, or having things like Benadryl when they don't have allergies. And what happens in my mind whenever I'm in the process of starting a relapse? Okay, I think a relapse happens like months in advance too in our mind. I think what happens is, like, maybe this is what happens for me. Every time I've relapsed, what has happened is usually I start doing something that I put in front of my recovery. Like, maybe I'll get a job and I'll start getting hella hours and I'll get promoted. And I'll put that in front of my recovery, and I'll stop going to meetings, or stop calling my sponsor, or stop reaching out to my sober support network. I'll start isolating and keeping myself, hidden away. And that's usually whenever I, relapse. But it slowly builds up to that, because it's like, what I'll do is I'll get the job, or I'll start dating the new guy, or I'll have a baby and I'll have so much responsibility that slowly but surely I start telling myself in my mind, like, oh, well, it's okay. You're tired. Stay at home. You've been working all these hours. And I'll slowly but surely start making excuses one by one to drop off the activities that I would normally do to stay sober. And that's how I've always went into a relapse. I also feel like it's hard to relapse whenever, say, somebody's sober but they haven't gotten honest. So they're still lying to themselves about being a drug addict. They still don't think that they're a drug addict. They still don't think that they have a problem. But they're staying sober because somebody they care about, they love. Maybe it's your significant other, like your husband or your wife, and she is, she's lying to you. She's staying sober because you want her to stay sober. Who are those people? Michael! Oh, hey guys.
We switched masks.
Right on.
Our masks.
Oh, cool. That's okay.
Yeah.
Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. That was pretty scary. Right. And I think there's a lot of different factors that play into relapse also. Like, if we're having depression and we're having anxiety and we haven't dealt with our mental illness, that can also contribute to a relapse. Or, like I said, if you got high stress levels, you're working a lot, you're not feeling good about yourself, you're insecure, that can play into somebody relapsing. Keeping people and places and things that we used to do when we were in our addiction, and still going and doing those things, like maybe hanging out with old friends that we got high with, that can, contribute to a relapse. But I really think the principles and the 3 keystones to staying sober are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Willingness to take suggestions and change. Open-mindedness to learn and receive the information, and honesty, because we have to get honest with ourselves, you guys, about our addiction. And we can't treat ourselves like we used to, like we're normal people, because we're not. We suffer from a severe chronic disease that could kill us, and it wants us dead, and so I see a lot of people that I know, especially people that are close to me, that I know that their parents have raised them to not share openly about their problems and to keep it a secret because it's shameful. And this person that I'm close to, that shame and that secretive demeanor and not sharing what this person's going through, like them not sharing it with me, like that's keeping them going back out. Like they relapse every 6 to 9 months because they will think in their mind, you know, oh, well, she'll never know. She won't be able to see, you know, she won't be able to tell that I'm struggling. And it's like, you guys, when you're a drug addict and you know other people that are drug addicts too, it's like we know each other. You know, we know each other the best, and we can see when each other are struggling. And I've just been seeing, you know, a couple of people that are close to me, a couple of friends that have been struggling with their recovery, and it scares me because I want all my friends and my loved ones to recover and have strong, wonderful recoveries and have good lives. But then it's hard, especially when you're emotionally involved, you guys. Like, I know a lot of you guys have husbands that maybe they're still using, or not a lot of you guys, but some of you guys have significant others that are still operating in their negative, you know, addictive behaviors. And it's really, really hard to look at it from a loving and tolerant point of view whenever you're so emotionally connected to the person, to the addict. And I've been really, really wanting to start reading this meditation that I have. It's an Al-Anon meditation, and it's for loved ones of alcoholics or addicts. And it's like it helps us, the loved one, to break away from the addict and no longer enable them. Because as long as we're enabling that person to continue using and putting up with that behavior, they're never going to stop. So we have to set boundaries. And that's what I'm starting to have to do in my life. And it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, you guys. It's really scary because I don't know if this person will stay around. Hey, Michael. I see you. Ah!
The nice one.
These silly guys. I'm scared. And it's hard whenever you love somebody that's in their addiction, you know, and it doesn't have to be your significant other. It could be a brother or a sister or your mom or your dad, but we have to hold them accountable and remind them like that action and more action is what it takes. You've got to get busy and get to work when you're working for your recovery. You know what I mean? So I also wanted to talk to you guys about shame. I wanted to talk to you about mom shame specifically because we were talking about that last night on my live stream. And I know a lot of you guys have kids and you either used when you were pregnant or you used when your kids, you know, you had your kids already and you were using. And that, how do you guys deal with mom shame? Like whenever you feel like guilty, because I feel guilty all the time sometimes, and I'll feel like I need to buy him toys and get candy and do all this stuff to like make up for the time that I wasn't my full self. You know what I mean? I cry too. I feel like maybe I'm being too hard on myself. You know, I'm beating myself up because like I'm changed now and I'm doing the right thing now, but I can't help but remind myself of how it was when I was in my addiction. You know? It's hard. And I wish, you know, I try to share with you guys like with the struggles that I'm going through and how I'm feeling. And that's what I've been really dealing with lately is like guilt and shame and being afraid of relapse, you know, being afraid for the people I care about in my life to relapse and almost like sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for it to happen. So I will be prepared, you know what I mean? And let me tell you this, being prepared doesn't make it any easier, just so you know. It's just like torturing myself because I have no control. And I hate not having control, you guys. I am a control freak. And I think some of you guys might be too. Like, I like to know what's going on with my family, where they're at all times, what time they're going to be home, when I need to make dinner. And it's just so hard, you guys. Even in recovery, like I've been sober for 3 years, and these are the things that I'm struggling with today. Like these are the things that I think about on a regular basis. I think about the harm and hurt I did to my son. I think about the way I hurt my family, and I'm trying to work through that and push forward. And also, I'm trying to, um, make content for you guys and help you guys. And don't get me wrong, like that doesn't keep. Yeah, we are. I am by overcompensating, and that's what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is happening is that I'm spoiling him, and that's not good. So, mom shame is real, you guys, and I'm sure dad shame is too. If there's any guys on this channel that have dad shame, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you do to work through your dad shame. Share. Why would I go up on my subs, girl? That ain't gonna help. Taking more Suboxone is not gonna help. I think we're talking about mom shame and feeling guilty for the things we did when we were in our active addiction. Anyway, that's share. Oh, no. I'm not talking about craving drugs. Am I? Was I talking about? No, I was talking about relapse, like on a. Okay, anyway. Someone else relapsing. And what we do, what the Suboxone dose, so we'll go ahead and talk about that since it was brought up. The Suboxone dose that I'm on is a therapeutic dose. Like, what if I am craving, which I haven't had any cravings for opiates at all, you guys. But I have thought about Xanax, but Suboxone doesn't really help with that, But I haven't had an opiate craving since I've been on Suboxone. That's been 3 years. But I'll tell you this, what I do when I have a trigger or I think about using Xanax or I think about changing the way I feel, alcohol, anything. What I do is I play the tape all the way through because I'm able to do that now because I've practiced it for so long. Do you guys know what I mean by playing the tape all the way through? Like when a thought comes into my mind and I say, oh my gosh, it would be nice to have a Xanax. You know what I think about? And the reason I'm using Xanax as an example is because I always think about Xanax for some reason. I loved them. I think about how I couldn't take just one. I think about how I would need to take 7. And then I think about how I would drive my car and crash it into a pole. And then I think about how I would probably go into the Walmart or the mall and steal and get arrested. And that kind of deters me from making that decision. But that wasn't always the case. It used to be really hard for me to think about those things because I hadn't practiced it. But it's like now I've practiced for so many years remembering what it was like when I was in my active addiction. You know what I mean? And so that's what helps me today is like going through the motions and thinking, what did I do when I was on those pills? What would I, how would I hurt or harm myself or somebody else? Relapse for other people that, like I was talking about people that I care about relapsing and still lying to themselves and not because I don't want to say this person's name because I don't want to out their privacy. But like this person that is relapsing is not getting honest and not saying, okay, I'm relapsing. Like they're still trying to lie to me about it, you guys. And I know that they've been high, and I said, yeah, oh yes, I'm good. Yes. I was saying to them, don't be ashamed. I'm not mad at you. I just want you to tell me the truth. And that's the thing why I get upset is it's not even about the relapse. Like I understand that. We're addicts. What I don't understand is why you have to be dishonest to me. Why are you lying to me? Tell me the truth. Just tell me, yes, I used, and this is why. Because I'm sure it's a good reason. I'm sure it's because, it was a good reason to you, and I understand that. I used to relapse all the time, and every single time I relapsed, it was a good reason to me. You're welcome, baby girl. I love you, Kim. that's what it was. Like, when I would relapse, it was like everything around me. I needed that drug to make me feel better because of I got into a fight with my old man, or I was in pain, or I was stressed out, or I was overwhelmed, or I had anxiety. Those are the things that usually I would pick up and use over. So I can totally understand why somebody else would relapse because of those issues. But what I cannot understand and what makes me angry is when you don't have enough respect for me to be honest and to let me know where you're coming from. Because let me tell you something, guys. If I relapsed, I would come on here and I would be honest with you guys. I'd say, hey, guys, I relapsed. I need to let you know what's going on. And we would talk about it. And then I would be able to get better. But if you can't get honest and talk about it, then you're not going to be able to recover. Because the recovery part happens when you put the light. It says it in the big book. We illuminate all the dark crannies and the hiding and the secrets. We shine a light on that and we uncover it and we pull it out. We say, this is what I've been doing. This is how I've been acting, and I'm ready to recover. You know? Right. So I feel like if somebody's going through relapse, then honesty is one of the most important things that a person has to start doing, is getting honest. If you can't get honest, you're not going to recover. It's just, you're not going to. It's not, because you're building your recovery on a lie. And that totally defeats the purpose of being in recovery if you're going to keep lying, right? So, anyway. I got to fold this laundry. That's what I wanted to talk with you guys about today. I love you guys. Thanks for coming over. And Jennifer, I'm going to call you now, okay? Bye, you guys. Subscribe.